Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Sports Timeout. I'm Anthony Polidano and today we come to you from Sterling Heights High School during one of the first nice days of 2009. In today's show we have a little bit of catching up to do before we get to some of the spring sports in action this year. First up, we go back to the winter with perhaps the biggest story from the winter sports season as the Stevenson Titans go for an MHSAA first, bowling boys and girls state titles in the same year. The Titan boys made the round of 8 by qualifying third, averaging 201 per bowler in difficult conditions. In the quarterfinals, Stevenson crushed Zeeland East by 232 pins. In the semifinals, the boys crushed Granville 18-13 to 15-61, leading to the finals where Stevenson won again by a wide margin, 164 pins over Wayne Memorial for the team's second state title in the last 5 seasons.
It's the best feeling ever. Like, I really can't describe it. It's the best feeling I've ever felt in my life.
The Titan girls qualified fourth, averaging 185. In the quarterfinals, Stevenson squeaked by Davison by a mere 11 pins. The semifinals saw Stevenson again edge out a win, this time by just 23 pins. The finals against Anchor Bay presented no such challenge as the girls cruised to their first MHSAA state crown, 1587 to 1482.
Amazing! I'm so happy. You have no idea. Both of our teams made it in. I'm just so excited right now. You have no idea.
Well, congratulations are certainly in order to Tom Stockton, George Bogdan, Skip Kelly, and both the Stevenson boys and girls teams on a job well done. I guess that Stevenson School of Champions sign can stay on for at least another year. We move on now to our Player of the Year award winners. In boys basketball this year, the winner was quite literally a slam dunk. Mike Hollingsworth runs away with the award on the boys' side this year, garnering 60 points out of a possible 60. He averaged 24.8 points a game, scoring off the drive, knocking down three-pointers, scoring everywhere on the court, but he was a multifaceted player. He pulled down 7.8 rebounds a game, good enough to lead his team, had a team-leading 3.6 assists, 2.8 steals, and the Chieftain High Flyer had 1.7 blocks per game. Known for his propensity to elevate and throw it down, Hollingsworth garnered first-team All-County honors. He missed the first 4 games of the year with a wrist injury. The Chieftains were 0-4 without him, but once he came back, they went 15-5. Including their first district title since 2002. Second place this year goes to Warren Mott Jr. C.J. Alanian, Mr. Double-Double, the MAC Gold MVP, led the Marauders in scoring, 18 points and 15 rebounds a game, that 15 boards mark, best in the county this year. He was second team All-Macomb County. Third place, his teammate, fellow junior Joe Asbury. Double-double averages himself, 13 points, 10 rebounds. He was fourth team All-County, deadly from both behind the arc and the free throw line. Fourth place goes to Ford point guard Casey Grishai. The Ford senior had 9.1 points, 2.7 assists a game. He, like Hollingsworth, missed a chunk of the year with an injury. His team did much better with him in the lineup as they advanced all the way to the district finals. Rounding out the list, finishing fifth, Falcon sophomore Aaron Cox. Sixth, Titan sophomore John Sulik. Tie for seventh between Ford junior Ramon Johnson and Titan senior Michael Pizzoli. Stevenson senior Carl Davis and Stallion center Adam Ring round out the list. Now on the girls' side of things, our Player of the Year voting in girls basketball was a little bit closer, but there still was a very clear-cut Player of the Year award winner. Ford senior Kelsey Razak takes the honors this year. She was a 4-year starter at Ford that included 3 district titles with the Falcons. She garnered 56 points and 5 first-place votes, averaging 13.5 points a game, 2.5 assists, 1.9 steals. Her 52 three-pointers were good for a school record, and she shot 71.1% from the free throw line. Finishing second this year, Titan Courtney Zamet, the senior, who's going to Lake Superior State University, averaged 12 points and 10 rebounds a game and 1.2 steals for the Titans this past year. Third place, Aisha Anderson, 14.5 points, 3.8 rebounds, 1.9 assists, and 2.8 steals for the Stallion Junior. Erin Madej finished fourth. The Utica sophomore averaged 15 points and 4 rebounds for the Chieftains this year. Rounding out the list, Jasmine Flanagan finishes tied for 5th, 5.1 points, 5 assists, and 1.7 steals for her. Her teammate Allie Drews, senior center, averaged 8.7 points, 6 boards, and 1.2 steals for the Falcons this year. And rounding out the list, finishing 6th this year, was Titan sophomore point guard Lauren Hoffner. In other local news, plenty of new faces in the coaching ranks as of late. We start out with new faces at both Ford and here at Sterling Heights in football. Brett Widows, the defensive coordinator last year, takes over for departed coach Dave Cutlip at Sterling Heights in football. And at Henry Ford II, Todd Winters takes over for the departed Jay Anthus. In softball this year, Jerry Anderson steps down after just 1 year at the helm. The new coach is an old face. Dan Barnabo takes over. With the Falcon baseball team, Barnabo was a legend, a state title in his 30 years at the helm, 442 career victories, 305 losses. In softball as well, a change at Stevenson. Titan coach Julie Swessinger has stepped down temporarily. It may be permanent, it may not. We'll have to wait and see. Taking her place will be Tony Mizuraka. With Schlesinger's run at the Titans, she went 156 and 117 in 8 seasons with Stevenson. Very successful there. 5 district titles in the process. Well, it's time for a break here on Sports Timeout, but don't go away. When we come back, highlights from the spring.
There are many worlds beyond your own. In my world, there is a special bond between animals and humans. I'm Lyra, and this is my friend Yurik, an armored bear of the far north. Yurik can defend himself against whatever challenges he may face. In your world, there are polar bears who also live in the far north, but they are at risk. They need your help if they are to survive. You must be their armor. Global climate change is reducing the size of their home and shortening the season in which they are able to find food. World Wildlife Fund works every day to study how global warming impacts the Earth and what we can do to stop it, for polar bears and for people too. The Arctic is one of the most vast and unknown regions on Earth. You can help save it and our entire planet, for bears, for yourself and for future generations. There may be many worlds beyond our own. Make a difference in yours. Visit worldwildlife.org.
She's beautiful, isn't she?
I love the big kitchen.
I'm afraid it's a little too expensive.
If you want it, we can go with a conventional loan. I can get you prime plus a half with no points for 30. Or we can do a hybrid that converts to a 1-year adjustable in 7. If that won't work, I know a lender who might go with 0 interest, 0 down, and a reamortization after 5.
Huh?
Find out how to protect your money and credit at econforyou.org.
Dinner makes a difference. Learn more at CasaFamilyDay.org.
What's it like when you hear your calling? Will you ignore it? Or will you listen? What if it calls you to go halfway around the world? To serve people you've never met? What will you do when you hear your calling? Peace Corps, life is calling. How far will you go?
And welcome back to Sports Timeout, everyone. We turn our attention now to the spring sports season, and we kick off our coverage with a look at girls soccer. And we'll start with the Titans against Dakota. This is not quite the high-octane Titans of years past. They're going to have to be a blue-collar squad to have a successful season this year. Pick up the action in the first. Sarah Pribus takes advantage of the ball being cleared out to her. The high arcing shot just gets over the outstretched arms of Rachel Doptis. 1-0 Stevenson at the intermission. Second half, Cougars trying to get on the board. Sylvia DiStefano with the corner. Alex Kuzno comes in, makes the save. Kuzno, as you remember, had a great sophomore year before yielding to Chelsea Priest last year. Jamie Monteroso adds a PK goal late in the second half. Titans scored 2 times for the first time this year as they move to 3-0-2. Kuzno, 7 saves in the win. Doptis, 21 saves in the losing effort. Moving on, Ford taking on Romeo. Pick up the action in the first half. Maddie Chappelle with the shot on goal. Melissa Zhang there for the save. Zhang outstanding in the first half. 10 saves to keep it scoreless at the intermission. Zhang keeping the Bulldogs in it. That save right there on the Taylor Niewhite shot keeps it 0-0. It stayed that way till Leanne Bohm puts this one in the box. Zhang gets the initial save, but Niewhite there to crash the net and coax that ball into the net. First goal of the game with 12 minutes left in the contest and 4 tacks on a few more. Rachel Laschek to Chappelle here on the corner. Just 5 minutes later to make it 2-0, and then it's not an instant replay. It's Laschek to this time Robin Frazier for the nice header goal. Ford explodes late, but they get a tough test from Romeo in terms of Zhang. She had 24 saves in the losing effort for the Bulldogs. Falcons moved to 3-1 on the season. Bowers with 2 saves in goal for the shutout for the Falcons. So Ford would then move on to take on another one of the Macred's better teams, Grosse Pointe South. Taylor Niewhite and company off to a tough start here. Ford called for a handball just on the fringe of the box there. They're rung up for it anyway. Anna Schulte gets the PK opportunity, and she converts. 5 minutes into the contest, Grosse Pointe South with a 1-0 lead. It would stay that way till the very end of the first half. This was a backbreaker. Emily Flom just underneath the crossbar off the pass from Emma Brush with just 9 seconds left. 2-0 at the half. Devils up on the Falcons. Second half, more of the same. Schulte here with the blast just underneath the crossbar. Grosse Pointe South goes up 3-0 and go on to win by that very score. Blue Devils playing in their 8th game of the season. They played more games than any soccer team in the county. 5 of those ties. Schulte, 2 goals in the win. Falcons fall to 3-2-0 on the season. Moving over to a Warren Consolidated Schools battles. It's Sterling Heights taking on the Marauders of Warren Mott. Mott coming in undefeated, but they would get a big test in this one. Stallions are also young and very talented. Out of the Mac White, Lauren Distilio there with the early goal. 2-0 Heights in the first half. Then Terralyn O'Gara ahead to sophomore Alex Clues. Clues, another sophomore, making it look easy as she gets to the Marauder defense. 3-0 Stallions at the intermission. Second half, more of the same. Distilio here to Clues. Clues beats the Marauder goalie. 4-0 Sterling Heights up at that point. Hard to believe the Stallions hadn't scored a goal in their first 2 games coming into this one, but they seem to take out their aggressions on the Marauders. Here, Megan Dunklin from a ways out. She gets it past the Marauder goalie. Her second goal of the afternoon. 5-0 Sterling Heights up at that point. And one more for good measure. Stallions putting pressure on the Marauders. Initial save by the Mott goalie. And Kelsey Young, another talented sophomore, in there to clean up the mess. 6-0 Heights at that point. They go on to win it by the final score of 6-1. An offensive explosion for them evens up their record at 1-1-1. Dunklin, 2 goals and an assist. Same for Alex Clues. Young, Distilio, and Serrani with a goal for Warren Mott as the Marauders fall to 2-1-1. And sticking with the Stallions, Utica next in town to take on Sterling Heights. Pick up the action in the first half. Dave Moran's team on the march. Rachel Cheney here with a nice shot from deep. Jennifer Frage there with a nice save, full extension, keeping Utica off the board. Steve Fiordalisi's team dodging a bullet early on. Then Rebecca Burrell's there with the shot on goal. It's knocked away. Stallions unable to clear it out of their own zone, though, and Cheney would make them pay from almost the same exact spot as her previous shot attempt. This one is good as she finds the upper left-hand corner of the goal. 1-0 Chieftains up. Then Sterling Heights trying to come back. Lauren DeStilio with a nice shot, but Taylor Randazzo there for the nicer, dare I say, dazzling save. 1-0 Utica at the intermission. Steve Fiordalisi looking for a little fire out of his team in the second half. DeStilio here with the nice cross into the box. Terilyn O'Gara gets a head or a shoulder or something on it, but Randazzo there for the save. Chieftains tack on an insurance goal in the second half. Ashley Sturgis over to Becca Carley. Carley beats Frage, who came out for the stop, and Utica earns the win 2-0 in the MAC White division as they take it by a 2-zip final score. 2-4-1 are the Chieftains now on the season. Randazzo 8 saves in the winning effort for Utica. Sterling Heights falls to 1-2-1. They get shut out 3 times in their first 4 games. Moving on, Stevenson taking on Henry Ford the second. In the first, Jamie Monterosso putting pressure on Nikki Bowers, who comes out for the save, but Jenna Anderson following up the play, blasts it into the net. She takes advantage of the right place, right time situation. 1-0 Titans. Later on in the first half, Taylor Newhite, she's got tremendous ball skills. No one on Stevenson stops her. She weaves her way through the entire Titan defense and then beats Alex Kuzno. She ties up the match with just 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Second half, Ford now looking to take the lead. Maddie Chappelle here shot off the top of the crossbar. Then later on in the second half, ball gets knocked around. Katie Sheff over to Chappelle. Takes kind of a funny bounce and almost eludes Kuzno and gets into goal, but it's all for naught. Stevenson, very few shots in this game, but they made them count. Sarah Pribus here in the second half to Danielle Lipa. Very strong leg, and she blasts that one by the Falcon goalie. 2-1 Stevenson up with 8 minutes left, and they go on to win by that score. Anderson and Lipa with goals. Pribus credited with an assist as the Titans move to 4-1-2 on the season. Well, one force certainly reigned supreme this April in the area sports season, and that, of course, was Mother Nature. Very few softball and baseball games were actually able to be played during the month of April. Here's a look at some of our local teams and the few games that were. Cold and rainy conditions for the Chieftains in their battle against Sterling Heights. Ben Orr, the Utica ace, on the mound for Andy Lucas, who has 2 Orrs, twin brothers Ben and Andy, figure to lead them this year. In the second, Jeff Kuzumplik, the pitcher for Sterling Heights, to Trevor Plizga, who came back from Tommy John surgery. Plizga with an RBI double. Dan Rashan scores 2-1, Utica up. Top of the fourth now, Andy Orr up with the bases loaded. Orr would actually come to the plate 4 straight times with the bases loaded. Pretty good RBI opportunities for him. He cashes in on this one as he clears the bases. 6-1, Chieftains up in the fourth. Ben Orr taking it from there, just mowing down Sterling Heights hitters. Had a little hard time with his control in this one in the rainy, cold weather, but got into a groove and settled down, allowed just 2 hits on the day. Chieftains offense supplying more than enough support. Here Jeff Baranski in the top of the 5th with his 2-run single. 8-1, Utica up. Chieftains go on to tack on 9 more and put a 17th spot up on the board. And Orr takes it from there. He cruises a 2-hitter through 5. He walked 4 and struck out 10 as the Chieftains get their first win of the season, 17-1. Andy Orr, just 4 RBI in those 4 plate appearances with the bases loaded. Plizga on base 5 times for the Chieftains. He had 2 doubles and walked 3 times. Rashawn had 3 runs scored as well. Moving over to Pontiac Stevenson and their ace, Brian Falta, taking on Notre Dame Prep. Pick up the action in the top of the first. Thomas Constant on the hill, runner on for Jason Fracassa. And Jason, remember how much improved he was from his sophomore to junior years on the football field? Well, he looks to be equally as good on the baseball diamond. Fracassa with a 2-run jack there, staking Falta to a 2-0 lead. It would stay that way until the 6th. Pretty good pitcher's duel here going on between Constant and Falta. In the 6th, Mike Catula gets the arms extended and nearly takes out a car. 3-0 after that bomb. Stevenson in control. Falta takes it from there. Here he strikes out Nick Bailey as the Irish just had no luck on this day. Kyle Collins goes down looking, and then he makes it a family affair, striking out Dave Owenby swinging, and then later, brother Dan Owenby looking, a no-hitter through 6 innings for the former Hershey National Champion in the softball throw. But in the 7th, Kevin Azori here, little dribbler up the middle. Stevenson can't get to it. He would have beat it out anyway. The no-hitter ended after 6 1/3. Falta comes out. 6 1/3 innings, just 1 hit, no runs, walked 4, struck out 9 as the Titans win it 9-0. Fracassa 2 for 3 with that home run and 2 RBI. Catula had 2 hits with his dinger. Josh Andrasic had a couple steals and a run scored for the Titans. Battaglia, 2 hits as well. Moving on, Stevenson then taking on Henry Ford II. Alex Peters at the plate here in the 2nd inning. Alex Barish on the hill, and Barish getting some help from, I guess who, Mr. Fracassa. Deep into the hole, comes up firing and gets his man with runners on. A great play by Fracassa, keeping the Falcons off the board. Nice stretch over there by Catula as well. Stevenson blows this one open in the 3rd inning. James Knox on the hill. Dave Brown goes opposite field there. A 2-run double for Brown. Stevenson up 6-0, and they just kept pouring it on in that 3rd inning. A 13-run 3rd inning for Stevenson. That does the Falcons in. Justin Zivon here with the 2-run single. That makes it 8-0. Stevenson goes on to the 3-inning mercy, 15-0. Barish, a 3-inning no-hitter. He did walk 4 and strike out 1. Fracassa was 2 for 2 with 3 runs scored and a steal. McLennan and Battaglia each had runs driven in and 2 runs scored. Brown with a run scored as well as the Titans move to 4-2. Mizuraka, no stranger to the Titans softball program. He spent the better part of the last decade as Stevenson's assistant coach. Titans up 3-0. Dakota threatening to score here, top of the 3rd. 2 on. Jessie Plague in the circle. Seems like she's been at Stevenson for a decade. She induces the comebacker and gets out of a jam, keeping the Titans up by 3. It would be a theme of the day. Plague working out of trouble all day. Here a little pop-up down to 2nd. They throw to 1st to get 1. Home to get the 2nd as Kara Bonk delivers a strike. Double play. Stevenson successful. More successful than this fan here, maintaining his umbrella as the weather was picking up in this one, but Dakota's offense would not pick up with it. Plague here with the strikeout. Top of the 5th now. 2 on again for the Cougars, and again it's Plague getting out of the jam. Marissa Masikowski down to 1st to end the inning. We were still 3-0. Top of the 6th now. The double play ball was Plague's friend all day. This grounder back up the middle to Sarah Nodell. Turns out to be 2 for the price of 1. Then Plague with another strikeout here in the 7th. And to cap things off, the defense was stellar all day, and it ends on a stellar note. Nodell snares that liner. Plague scatters 9 hits and 2 walks and a 3-0 shutout. Erica Murray not pictured. The big blast for Stevenson, a 2-run double. That proved to be the difference as the Titans get their first win of the season. Next, we follow the Titans up to the Macomb Classic at Pollard Park up in Chesterfield as Stevenson was taking on Armada. Sarah Nodell in the circle for the Titans as she gets the start. spelling Jesse Plague. Early on, Nodell getting some help from her defense. Great play by Marissa Masakowski as she fires from short to get the runner at first. Then later on, it's Nodell Kang Emily Marquis. Nodell, just a sophomore, on her game early on. We were scoreless. Stay that way till the top of the third. Marissa Borkowski at the plate for Stevenson, and she takes this Marquis offering and drills it to right center. Borkowski legs out a triple here. She would come in after Nodell would knock her in on a bounce out. 1-0 Titans. Later on in the inning, Titans, all kinds of hitters up and down that lineup. Morgan Gregorich here with the RBI single to right, scores Mackenzie Jones. Stevenson up 2-zip. Nodell striking out Sam Sutton here. 2-0 Titans through 3. Bottom of the fourth, though, things start to go awry for Stevenson. Kara Bonk here throws away the bunt attempt, and Armada would wind up at the end of the play after a pair of Titan errors with runners at second and third. That would set things up here for Wiedner. Wiedner with a 2-run single to left, and Armada had tied things up with Sterling Heights at 2 apiece in the fourth. On to the fifth now. They tack on some more runs, do the Tigers. Katie Toomey here with a blast, a double that brings in Brittany Ryan, and Armada up 4-2 on Stevenson. They were thinking upset, and they get the upset win as Markey strikes out Kara Bonk here to end the game. Bonk would have been the tying run as Stevenson had closed within 2. And the Tigers win at 5-3 to move to 6-3 on the season. Toomey 3 for 3 in the win. Nodell 8 strikeouts in the losing effort. On to Barnabal. Dan Barnabal with his return to coaching, this time with the Falcon girls, longtime coach of the boys. And he saw quite a pitcher's duel here between Jill Kaltz and Katie Studnicki as Ford was taken on Utica. Top of the first now, Lauren Schurig at the plate, and Kaltz going to get her to hit a little comebacker. Kaltz gets Krista Johnson caught up and guns her down at the plate. Utica sees a golden opportunity go by, and that would loom large later. Katie Studnicki was outstanding, striking out Kayla Kabisky, then gets Heather Rinke swinging there. Studnicki, a perfect game through 5. Kaltz a shutout through 5. On to the 6th. Kaltz gets Studnicki there swinging. Then later on in the top of the 6th, Autumn Fettig, take a seat. Kaltz almost as good as Studnicki. On to the bottom of the 7th. Studnicki going for the perfect game, and she gets Kayla Kabisky swinging. Congratulations, right? Well, not exactly. Utica had yet to score a run. So despite the perfect game through 7, Studnicki would have to keep it going. Bottom of the 8th, the perfect game and the no-hitter finally broken up as Ford breaks through with the hit. But, as would be a theme in this game, they could get no runs. Top of the 9th here, Beth Saba gunning down Schurig, trying to steal. We were scoreless through 8.5. Bottom of the 9th now, Studnicki lost the perfect game, but still dealing. She strikes out the side in the 9th. Dana Barnabo hadn't seen a game like this in quite a while. We would go to the bottom of the 12th, still scoreless. Kayla Kabisky with 1 out here. Grounder gets past the second baseman for Utica into right field, and Ford had a runner on with 1 out in the bottom of the 12th. For Jill Kaltz, an opportunity to help out her own cause. 0 for 4 in the game up to this point, but she comes through with one big-time swing. She crushes it to left. It's a game-winning RBI walk-off double as Kabisky motors around to score, and Ford takes this marathon game 1-0 in 12 innings. The great effort by Studnicki is wasted. Utica has now scored just 11 runs in their first 9 games as Ford takes it 1-0. Kaltz goes the distance and then some. 8 strikeouts and a 5-hit shutout for her. Studnicki, 4 hits allowed and 16 strikeouts. No walks for either pitcher. And that's going to bring to a close another edition of Sports Timeout. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you're looking to find out when Timeout airs, as we've got a little bit of a new rundown here on SHTV, check us out at the website below. Until next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you then.
Oh,